If you've been sending your resume out to dozens of companies, hitting every requirement, and hearing nothing but silence, I want you to stop for a second. Pull up a chair. Let's have a real talk. You've probably been told that the way to win in 2026 is to be the perfect, unbiased, balanced candidate. You've polished your bullet points to sound like a neutral Swiss Army knife, capable of doing anything without causing a ripple. But here's the hard truth. If you're trying to be perfectly neutral, you're not playing it safe. You're playing yourself right into an AI-generated graveyard. I've seen this pattern over and over again with brilliant people who just can't seem to break through the noise. Let's look at the numbers, because they tell a story that your career counselor probably won't. Recent data from Forbes and Workday shows that between 73 and 82% of resumes are now filtered out by AI before a human being ever lays eyes on them. Think about that. Nearly 8 out of 10 people are rejected by an algorithm that doesn't care about your potential or your balance. And it's not just the small players. 99% of Fortune 500 companies are now using AI-driven applicant tracking systems just to keep their heads above water with the sheer volume of candidates. Let that number sit for a second. When I first saw this data, it honestly changed how I think about the entire job market. We're seeing job searches for white-collar roles stretch out to 24, even 36 weeks. That's 6 to 9 months of waiting, hoping, and wondering what's wrong with you. But the problem isn't your talent. The problem is that by trying to be unbiased and safe, you've made yourself indistinguishable from the very AI that's filtering you. If AI is already better at being neutral than any human could ever be, why would a company pay a premium for you to do the same thing? To find the answer, we have to look at the alignment paralysis that's currently killing the C-suite. Here's the part that most people have completely backwards. We think companies want more data, more options, and more balanced perspectives. But in 2026, data is a commodity. AI can give an executive 10 different safe strategies in 3 seconds. What's actually happening behind closed doors is something called alignment paralysis. I was talking to a friend in the C-suite recently, and he told me that 62% of executives now report being completely stalled. They're waiting for more AI data, more reports, more certainty before they make a move. The irony is that because AI makes everything look safe and neutral, nobody knows which path to actually take. Applications are growing 4 times faster than new job creation. The system is flooded with people who can use the tools but can't make a decision. Here's the hard truth. 2026 is the year where the safety of AI became a corporate liability. Companies aren't looking for more process evidence. They don't want to see how you used a prompt to get an answer. They are starving for decision evidence. They need someone who can look at 3 safe AI options and say, we're going with option B, and here's why I'm willing to stake my reputation on it. They aren't hiring for your ability to find the middle ground. They're hiring for your ability to break the deadlock. So what does a $400,000 conviction architect actually look like in practice? I want to introduce you to a new class of professional. I call them conviction architects. These aren't just technical experts or project managers. They are the elite few who stopped trying to be right and started being decisive. While everyone else is fighting for mid-level roles, these people are pivoting into high-stakes gaps that AI simply cannot fill. Take fractional chief AI officers, for example. We're seeing median annual earnings for these roles between $263,000 and $643,000. That's not a typo. These are essentially AI governance architects who manage liability. They aren't there to write code. They are there to sign off on it. They are the blame takers. Look at AI strategy leads in consulting. They're hitting $495,000 annually. Why? Because they've moved from being Swiss Army knives who can do a little of everything to spearheads who break internal deadlocks. They understand that AI-intensive roles now command a 56% wage premium, but only for the human-in-the-loop oversight. Here's where it gets really interesting. These winners didn't just get lucky with their tech stack. They understood a fundamental shift. In the old world, you were paid for what you knew. In this world, you're paid for the risks you're willing to own. They aren't just providing services, they are providing accountability outsourcing. The company pays them a massive premium because, at the end of the day, an algorithm can't be fired, but a human can. And in a world of alignment paralysis, that accountability is the most valuable currency on the market. There's a concept I want you to understand called the neutral middle. When everyone uses the same AI tools, all strategies start to look identical. Every marketing plan, every financial forecast, every engineering roadmap starts to settle into this lukewarm, safe average. It's a sea of sameness, and because it's safe, it's also invisible. This is why being unbiased is the most dangerous thing you can be right now. AI creates a neutral middle where every path looks safe, but no path leads to a breakthrough. The conviction premium is the reward for the human courage to override a safe AI suggestion with context-heavy human intuition. According to recent studies, staff-level AI professionals are earning an 18.7% premium specifically for non-neutral decision-making. That's nearly a 20% raise just for having an opinion. Meet 93% of hiring managers now say they prioritize un-AIable signals, things like high-stakes judgment and authenticity. Now, this is the part that changes everything. Hiring velocity for these roles is actually 22% slower. Why? Because companies are conviction testing candidates. They don't care if you know how to use the tool. They want to see if you have the backbone to tell the tool it's wrong. They are looking for the courage to be wrong, because that's the only place where true innovation and true profit lives. The market is no longer hiring for the ability to use the tool, it's hiring for the courage to be the architect of the outcome. So, how do you actually do this? How do you escape the neutrality trap and start claiming that conviction premium? It's not about getting another certification. Honestly, you don't need a new skill. You need a new backbone. I want to give you 3 concrete actions you can take this week. First, you need to rebrand your evidence. Look at your resume and your LinkedIn right now. Are you showing process evidence or decision evidence? Stop telling me you managed a team of 10 using AI tools. Tell me about the time the AI suggested a 20% budget cut, but you saw a market nuance it missed and insisted on a 10% increase instead. Show me where you were the spearhead. Second, I want you to master the liability attestation technique in your next interview. Most candidates try to prove they never make mistakes. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to say, in this role, I understand that the AI will provide a safe baseline. My job is to be the liability sponge. I'm here to take the responsibility for the 10% of decisions where the data is ambiguous. When a recruiter hears that, they don't see a risk, they see a savior for their paralyzed executives. Third, update your decision brand on LinkedIn. Your headline shouldn't be your job title. It should be the specific type of deadlock you break. Remember that quote from the WTW Risk Analysis Report. The human in the loop is essentially a liability sponge, a person hired to absorb the legal and corporate blame when the algorithm inevitably fails. It sounds harsh, but in 2026, being that sponge is worth $400,000 a year. Stop being a tool in the process and start being the architect of the outcome. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't a lack of skill, it's a lack of conviction. Go build yours. I'll be here to walk you through the next step when you're ready.